YouTube, and welcome to Patreon Picks, the show where I allow people who donate to me on Patreon to tell me what games to cover. Even if that game just happens to be 7 Samurai 20XX. It's not a bad game. Certainly isn't a good one. Sometimes I wonder, why do people put into the barrel the game that they do? For example, Super Mario Galaxy, it's probably a childhood favorite. I can understand. It's a great game, makes it rain for a great video. FNAF? I don't know, maybe Megan just wanted to spook me. But 7 Samurai, freaking Dragon? They're not the worst games ever. I can understand worst games ever, but just barely below mediocre? In 1954, a legendary film called 7 Samurai was released. 60 years later, it was time to revitalize the series. Maybe. I don't know. Is that how long Japanese copyright law lasts? Because in 2004, both an anime and a game came out. Neither of them relate to one another, except the same source material. Oh, and they both have a slightly futuristic setting. I mean, I wish there was source material, because the main character talks to Jody and Hot Topic Kid as if he knows them and they have some history. I had to look it up to see if there was source material, but apparently 7 Samurai 20XX is its own thing. I mean, the Kurosawa estate had something to do with it, and they hired the character designer from Fifth Element and Alien, and they even had an Academy Award winner do a song, but it's a hack and slash game, making this a very hard game for me to talk about. The mechanics can be reviewed in about 2 minutes, and the story is kind of bad. I guess I'll do that then. I'll talk about the mechanics. You are Nato. You are Nato. What is this guy's name? You are Nato, and the city is under attack. Go on. No button prompts, just press them until it makes sense to you. You press X and it makes you dash, and if you hold X, you can do an awful jump. A triangle makes you glow, and square. This is your one only attack button. And this is 7 Samurai 20X's gameplay loop. To be fair, there are times in this game where I would have liked to have drifted off and just mindlessly mashed the square button, but you will miss your attacks. You do need to keep your left thumb stimulated while playing this game so that your sword actually pierces your enemies. Not that they're threatening. It would take a miracle for one of these guys to actually land a hit on you, and look at that damage! Pathetic. I mean, here's the health item, and the amount that you get back from it is also pathetic. But whatever. By the way, did you notice how I actually am missing some health? Yes, the decent part of this game is the bosses. The bosses are perfect. They require just enough respect that you need to pay attention to them, but they aren't so challenging that they get annoying. They are the exact level where I loved them. Granted, this first one shows a bit of a problem with the health. I mean, he hits me, he doesn't do a dang thing. I hit him, it doesn't do any damage. But with the exception of the first boss battle, and that's probably just because I was kind of learning the controls, the battles do not go on too long. And I don't think I was being fair earlier when I said that triangle makes you glow. Well, okay, I was being fair, because that is what it does. But it is also your block button, and it might be one of my favorite blocks in a video game. Especially a hack and slash. Because in video games, I don't tend to shield. I mean, I don't want to get attacked, so I could stop what I'm doing, press a button to put up a shield, but then I'll either eat at the shield or the stamina. I'd much rather just dodge. And if I'm playing a game with hit stun, I'd rather just attack. Because nothing stops a flurry of blows quite like a good old-fashioned murder. That's why the glowy button in 7 Samurai 20XX is a godsend. I can tap away on the square button like a madman, and I never have to stop. And if an attack is coming Nato's way, I can just press the triangle, which will deflect the bow, and I never have to stop slashing. Nothing beats it. If you can time it just right, you can keep swinging. Heck, there is one boss with a multi-hit attack, and he can't do a thing because I out-prioritize his hit stun. Yeah, he landed the first part of his drill attack, but I pressed triangle partway through, get a free parry, and now it's time to carve him like a pumpkin. So yeah, the bosses demand the perfect amount of concentration to cut down, dodge around them, and if the fates allow, a parry or two. The enemies in the levels, on the other hand, are freaking awful! There are so many enemies. No, seriously, dude, there are so many enemies. Look at this. You know, Nato walks into an area and he says what a small administrative district, typically having its own church or priest, typically in Louisiana, he says, perish. And then I cut up enemies for literal minutes. Finally, the alleyway stopped spitting out enemies, and I walked through that alleyway, and then yeehaw, partner, saddle up! It's time for another dissection session! Once again, 5 minutes tapping the frickin' square button. But after all that, you walk maybe 10 feet into another square room. And then... 'cause I'm tapping on the square! You know, at one point in the story, the character says,
no matter how many humanoids you slay, there's always more.
What is that? Is that like using game mechanics to further narrative? Because that is kind of what it feels like. You kill hundreds of humanoids. But the thing is, the game feels too dumb to feel like it's making this point, but later in the game, they repeat that humanoids are infinite. But there are points in this game where you gotta fight other types of enemies, and they only have like 2 waves, tops. But the humanoids, they are like Hamilton.
Man, the man is non-stop.
I don't even know how many enemies I kill either. After the level, it'll show you how many times you hit the attack button, though. 2,000 times in 18 minutes. 6,028. As stated, I don't feel that this game is trying to use mechanics as narrative. But if it is, it's genius. I mean, screw you for locking me into so many freaking battles with a weak combat system, but you are a genius. There aren't that many enemy types in this game. There's regular guys, a bunch of jumping morons!
Round and rebound.
Sometimes they have the big beefy boys with projectiles, but honestly, they all melt together. The only enemy of any note are these Blanca-looking fools. Not because of the attack pattern or anything, simply because the PS2 cannot handle them. The game's speed halves whenever one of them is on screen, which is actually quite often. Alright, so here's the main premise. There's a village that's under attack from bandits and humanoids. By the way, they never explain what humanoids are, just one of those things that you assume is explained in the source material, but as previously stated, there is no direct source material. And in this situation, what is a poor village to do?
Hire a samurai.
And that's what you're doing in this game. Old man is willing to join you, but he thinks we're gonna need... I'm gonna say maybe... 7 samurai, give or take 20XX. Nato says that he's way too cool for that, but then he joins anyway. Jodi's hanging out, and she volunteers to be a samurai, but everyone just kind of ignores her. And then Nato's friend joins as well after you help him kill the guy who killed his sister. The old man suggests a bouncer, and so we head down to the red light district, which is 100 times nicer than the above town area. And as said, this level doesn't suck, because there's actually a reasonable amount of enemies. They don't keep respawning. No, it sucks for another reason. After I find the bouncer guy, he just snopes out of the room in an overly comical fashion. And then you search this huge map. I mean, come on. I only hit the attack button 3,500 times in an hour. I mean, the bosses were great. Some dude who left oil spills everywhere. Freaking dragons! I mean, eventually we do get the bouncer dude to join our side. And honestly, I think in a game like 7 Samurai, it'd be cool if you could use other samurai. And if they played differently, however, it's obvious that the budget for this game went towards, you know, Fifth Element guy. So there's not enough budget to program other characters. But I mean, come on! 7 Samurai! Nato is boring! We also met a table dancer dude that Nato wants to recruit. If you save him from Major Kimbley and the White Fox, he will join you. And the White Fox is a really good fight. You smack him around a bit and he goes invincible, where he's way more aggressive. So you need to time your defensives and knock off the invisibility to damage him. It is so hard to talk about hack and slash games, guys. Then we had a level that was pretty much just boss battles. First, there was this guy with an axe. Pretty fun. And then we had to fight these guys.
Yo, Mew! What's up, Kai? Yeah, I'm glad we waited. Right, I think that these guys have finally made it. They requested that it's hoping to be... You're the one that Agent sent us to see.
I think that's enough video games for one lifetime.
Look at this. Who's not showing?
This is... What the frick is this? This does not match the tone of the game at all! Even Nato was just looking at his... Look, that is the face of a man who's like, what the frick am I looking at? I mean, I will take it back if that rap verbatim is in the original 1957, 7 Samurai, but I kind of doubt it. The next boss was impossible. He turns into a puddle and you need to damage him enough to break through his defenses, and I'm just here slashing. I mean, I am making progress and it is slow, but slow and steady surely wins the— No! You get it! No! Okay, it's walkthrough time. What the heck is a Naito Ryu? So apparently, this whole time, there's been this bar down the corner. You press L1 and R1 at the same time, and you enter Ultra Murder Mode, where you attack way faster and do way more damage. The cooldown is about 10 seconds, and if you time the triangle parry thing at just the right time, you recharge up to full. And this makes the game much better, and so much worse. Because now I can activate it and turn the basic enemies into pace much quicker. But the bosses, where they were these perfect, monumental fights, now I just turn on Super Murder Mode and then mash the square button for like 2 minutes, you know, periodically hitting triangle to parry their attacks. It sucks, man. After that level, we need to get one more samurai. We only have 6, if you count Jody. So, we head to the city, but partway there, I'm attacked by the very first boss, who opens a hole to hell. Nato manages to grab onto a pole, and then the small guy says, "Hold on, and he'll help me up." Nato says, "Nah, man, you just go to the city." And then the small guy says he can't just leave me hanging there, and then Nato says, "Okay, then I'm not hanging here anymore, bye." Is fall damage not a thing? I mean, he lands completely unfazed. But a lot of the enemies fall to their death in this game. After that, we're in, I don't know, there's guys in red, there's some Arabic on the walls, my master's master is here, so I just press the square law and then I see a lady, and then this guy says, and now we got our 7th samurai. I don't understand this game. Seriously, is there any supplemental reading materials? Anyway, then I meet back up with the small guy, and he said that he was a traitor. So he cut out his own eyes, and there's only one thing he can do to regain his honor. Oh shoot. Is he gonna do a Sudoku? Ah! Oh, he's gonna do a Sudoku! Yep, blew himself up to kill 6 dudes that Nato can kill in 2 slices. Nice going, dude! Like, this story is so blah. I am having a really hard time writing this script. Like, white hair guy got crushed. Lady and I go to the final level, which is just 6 boss fights. And since I learned about Super Demon Mode, they don't matter. Even the final boss dies almost instantly by just tapping square. After that, I go back to the village, and then there's a cutscene where Bird Lady throws Jody off a bridge, and then Nato catches her. But then Bird Lady stabs Nato, but Nato stabs Bird Lady. And then since he won't let go of Jody, they both die off screen. So, yeah, besides the parry, there's nothing really noteworthy in this game. It's just below average in every way, shape, and form. But I said I'd cover it, and that's what I did. And now, I got some more games that I could possibly cover. Also, I want to say a real big thank you to the patrons. The last few months could have been really bad. You really helped keep my head above water. I cannot thank you enough for that. But now, it's time for the plug. I gotta plug my Patreon. If there's a specific game you want me to review, this is the best way to do it. I covered 7 Samurai. I will cover whatever game comes out of this. All right, I'm excited. When I fill out the cards, there's a lot that could be, and so I'm excited. The next game that we're gonna review is, that's 2 of them. Wolfster25 wants me to look at Mystery Dungeon Explorers of the Sky. I didn't write Pokemon on this for some reason, but yeah. I guess I'm gonna have to download that on the Wii U. Another Wii U review.